Good afternoon. Hello, hello. Welcome to Website Wednesday. So today we are talking about traffic and ways that you can get it for free. So I know that lots of people feel nervous about running ads or feel like they don't have the budget to run ads. And so that's why I wanted to cover this off today, where we're going to be talking about ways that you can put your content in front of more people without it costing you a single penny. But I'm going to get real with you because it involves a little bit of work. And I think what a lot of us do, and I know that I include myself in this in this entire conundrum, is that what we do is we spend a lot of time creating this amazing content, whether it's videos, podcasts, blog posts, whatever it might be. And then we don't actually get anybody to come and have a look at it. And it's a little bit like being given a microphone to stand on a stage in front of an audience of nobody. And that's essentially what we're doing, is we're preparing this amazing presentation to put out there into the world on this incredible stage, and then discovering that the room is empty. So we want to make sure that we're filling the room. And the way that we do that is by sharing our content. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Please do just pop into the chat, say hi. Sean, I can see you're showing up, but your comment didn't say anything. So do just pop into the chat and let me know that you're here so that I can say hi. And also, just whilst I'm waiting for yours to do that, let me see if this works. I'm just going to pop this into the chat. Usually when, it does work. It looks like I did it twice. But I've just popped a link in there for the masterclass that I'm running in a couple of weeks' time. And it's about creating website content with AI. And we'll definitely be talking about blogging on that, because really this whole world of ChatGPT has opened up this incredible opportunity for us to be able to blog. And what I really want to share in that masterclass is how you can blog without just creating more noise and without churning out stuff that everybody else is churning out, how we can really, really hone the prompts to make sure that your content just stands out above everybody else's. And so if you haven't signed up for that masterclass yet, please do that. It won't be running live in the group. You do need to register in order to either show up to get the link to come onto the live session or to get access to the replay afterwards. So, okay, Sean, I can see you saying hello. Jess, good to see you. Miriam, hello. A few people saying hello, but all I can see is Facebook user. There is a link above the video that enables you to let StreamYard see your name if you want me to call you out. It's always nice to know who's here. So, all right, I wrote a blog post a couple of years ago, actually now, about how to increase your blog traffic. And basically I shared 11 places there you can share a new blog post. And it's interesting because sometimes I have to go back and read my own blog posts to remind myself what I should be doing. So I do have a process, I do have a template, but I kind of stumbled across my own blog post the other day and I was like, oh yeah, there's some good stuff in there. So that's why I wanted to share it with you. And I will share the link to it as well after this, so you can go ahead and have a look, because there's also a free download where you can just download the prompts so that every time you create a new piece of content, you can tick off where you are actually where you're promoting it. Because the fact is that we really, really need to get this proportionally correct. So often we will spend 80% of time creating the content and 20% of the time promoting it. And we need to flip that. Some of you have been in my world for a long time will have heard me say that many, many times before, but it's a really difficult equation to flip because it just feels all wrong. But actually, the content creation should be the amount of time that we're spending the least amount of time on. Yes, we should put lots of effort into it. Yes, it should be amazing content, but really we need to expand our promotion of it, because otherwise it just sits there and nobody's going to find it. You need to get good at SEO as well so that people are finding it organically, but you need to start the ball rolling in order to get the traffic to it in the first place, for Google to recognize that it's a really great piece of content. People want to read it and they want to access it. So some of the things that I am talking about on this is ways that you can get it in front of more people. Now, the first and most self-explanatory, I would say, or most obvious place to share it is actually to your email list. If you don't have an email list yet, would love to know that you are creating one. Just say, give me a yes if you have an email list. Just type yes into the chat if you have one. and type no if you haven't yet. So an email list really genuinely is something that I truly believe that you should be throwing your effort into. And if it's not something that's got your focus yet, please make sure that you're scheduling out some time to get it done. And it doesn't need to be difficult. I have the Funnel Experience program, which runs people through the entire process of putting together the first stages of your funnel, which is like your lead magnet, your landing page, to help you start growing your list. Okay, I can see lots of you now. You're all getting chatty now, which is great. Janet, good to see you. And lovely to see you. Gosh, I haven't seen you for ages. Adiola, great to see you. Nancy, good that you're here. Rosemary, fabulous. All right, and you've got an email list. Someone, whoever this is, says, yes, you've got one, which is great. Miriam, perfect. You've got 30 subscribers, small and messy at the moment. But do you know what? Small actually can sometimes be really mighty. So the smaller your list, probably the more intimate your communication with them can be. And so don't ever, we all start with a tiny, tiny list. So small is good. Jess, you don't have one yet. I hope that it's really getting your focus at the moment. Rosemary, very small. Small is good. Janet, you've got one, which is great. Somebody who's a Facebook user, don't know who that is. Sorry, it's not showing up, says no, don't have one yet. Adiola, email addresses, but need to import into MailerLite. Absolutely. Make sure that you're doing it GDPR compliant. For those of you who are here, who are in the Visibility Vault, we're going to be doing all about GDPR today with our guest expert. So that's exciting. Sean, you had a list, but it got nowhere. Okay, you've got to communicate with it. You've really, really got to make sure that you're keeping in touch with those people on your list, because every single person on that list is a real human being and they've signed up and they've opted in for something. Adiola says, yes, very small list at the moment. Nancy says, yes, I have an email list, though small, but 50% of my emails. That's amazing. So 50% is a really, really great open rate. Industry standard changes from industry to industry, but generally you'll be looking at about 30% as a decent open rate. 50 is amazing. And somebody else says, I don't yet. Okay, I would encourage all of you who said no or I don't yet to really put that onto your schedule, to think, okay, I want to get intentional about growing my list, because it is truly the best way for you to start growing your business. And for those of you who said, yes, it's small, please acknowledge the fact that A, you've got one, which is amazing, and B, that small is it can be mighty, and just focus on intentional growth month on month. Sean said, I did lots of work, but it didn't get read. Okay, you just ask people what they want. So when those people come onto your list, ask them the kind of things that they want to read, what would be really, really useful to them, and that will inform you going forwards. So, okay, once you have that email list, then you can start sending out your blog posts to them. So every time you write a new blog post, you are sending traffic to it from your list. And those are likely to be the most engaged readers that actually come onto your blog post. So they know you and they're returning visitors onto the website. And that also gives Google a little tick of credibility. And they go, okay, this is good, because she has people coming back time and time again onto the website. So if you can set up a regular schedule to create content, then that would be amazing. And if you feel like you can't do it fortnightly yet, then set something up to do it monthly and make a commitment to yourself, and then eventually whittle it down so you're doing something once a week, which would be incredible. And if you master ChatGPT, it's going to really, really help you set up this process so that it can work fast for you. And that's some of the stuff that I'm going to be going through in a couple of weeks, to show you how you can really, really get intentional with putting this content out there and making sure that it's working hard for you without falling foul of plagiarism and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that was the first one, was make sure that you are sending out your content to your email list. The second thing is, if you have a Facebook page or you have a Facebook group, let them know. If you've written a new blog post, then tell them that you've written it. And by the way, on Fridays every week in the WordPress Happy community, we have Feature Fridays where you can feature any new content that you've created. It's a really underutilized resource in the group. And I would encourage all of you to use that. If you are creating content, whether it's Facebook Lives, whether it's a reel that you're really proud of. So Nicola last week put a reel on there and it got loads of traction, people saying that they'd seen it and they'd loved it. If it's a blog post or a video or anything like that, then make sure that you are posting that onto the Feature Friday. And you want to do at least a couple of shares of your blog post, because people, you will know this, right? So especially on the likes of your Facebook page, probably only 3% of people who are connected to your page are going to see it if you post it. So that's like if you've got 100 followers on your Facebook page, only 3 of those people will see it the first time you post it. So you want to post it again and then have a rotation. So you don't need to be constantly creating new content. Have it on like a 6-month rotation so you can roll it out again. I'm going to give you guys the link for this blog post that I'm talking you through now, which I wrote in 2021, and it's still valid. So there's no reason for me not to be putting it out there for you to get information from it, because it's valuable. It's still valuable. The third place that you can be looking at is your personal Facebook page. And this is a place that is often forgotten. And I have to confess that I am not great at posting on my personal Facebook page. I actually don't use Facebook a lot from a personal perspective. And that's just a personal choice. But I know a lot of people who post loads of work stuff onto their personal profile, and it gets a lot of traction. And when I do occasionally post work stuff onto my personal profile, it gets loads of eyeballs on it. So it's definitely worth doing. Even if you're not doing it regularly, do it every once in a while for stuff that's really, really important, because you'd be surprised how many people within your network of your friends and family and associates are prepared to share stuff for you. Twitter. Anyone here on Twitter? Just really interested to know. Let me have a look and see. Yeah, Adiola, you didn't know that about Fridays. I would love a show of hands. Are you on Twitter? Yes or no? Because I'm not. Well, I am, but I just don't ever use it. The only reason I'm on Twitter was because I went through a spate of speaking to journalists, and that's kind of where they hang out. So if you want to be in touch with them, then it's a really great place. But yeah, and the same as me, on it, but don't use it. Miriam, you're on Twitter. Great. Jess, no, you're not. Janet, no, you cancel Twitter. Nancy, no. Okay, I'm not surprised that most of people are saying, no, you're not on it. Adiola, no, not yet. And by the way, this isn't me saying that you've got to be in all the places. It's a choice. And for me, Twitter it's just not my bag. I don't love it, so I'm not over there. Yes, but I hardly ever use Twister. That's a good name for it. I think it's a typo and also correct, but I'm with you on that. The Twitter Twister. Anyway, if you're on Twitter, Twitter can be a good place to very quickly just jump in there and share any new content that you've got. If you share your blog post over there, you probably want to share about 3 to 5 times in the first week after you publish it, because Twitter moves really, really quickly. And you can just pull out quotes or sound bites that you can share, and that piques the interest of people who might be interested in going and having a look at it, and then include 1 or 2 relevant hashtags just so it increases your audience. And also you can look for other industry related Twitter chats, and you can join in on those, and then use their hashtags sparingly to actually share your content as well. So Twitter, I'm going to move on from that one pretty quickly because most of us aren't on it. Instagram, if I ran the same question now, I would guess that most of you probably are on Instagram, or at least have a profile. So Instagram is often ignored as a place to actually share content, but it shouldn't be, because you can share your latest blog post as a link in your bio or through Linktree, if that's what you're using, or you can have a direct link to your blog and then direct your audience to it through some kind of in-feed post or stories, and that can really, really boost the traffic to your website and your blog readership. And of course, Canva has got loads and loads of templates so that you can easily customize stuff and do that really fast. So Instagram is a great place for sharing it. LinkedIn as well is perfect to share your content if you're over there. So I just want to reiterate, I'm not telling you you've got to be in all of the places, because so far I've mentioned Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'm not expecting you to be in all of the places, but if you have a presence on all of those, or if you just have a presence on one of them, don't leave them out. So if you're on LinkedIn and you post there a couple of times a week or even a couple of times a month, make sure that one of those posts is to promote your blog content. And also you can write articles over there as well. So you can, and that's a really great way to get in front of more people as well. And you can share it on LinkedIn groups. So don't underestimate the reach that you can get with LinkedIn, because actually, in terms of reach and longevity of your posts, it's probably longer than it was certainly longer than on Twitter and on Instagram and Facebook. And then I might be about to freak you all out because I'm going to mention another one, but actually Pinterest, I don't really think of Pinterest as a social media platform. It's more of a search engine. So often it's where we go to find inspiration for, our home or whatever we're going to cook that evening. But it is a visual search engine for all sorts of kind of different things. And it can be a great tool for increasing your traffic. So don't disregard that. If you're getting serious about blogging, Pinterest is something that you should certainly be looking at. And there's tools that can help you schedule out pins and all that kind of stuff. So those are your own platforms. Those are the kind of places where you can share things on your own platforms. But then you want to start looking out beyond your own channels, because within your channels, yes, if it's shared, that's amazing. But actually, that's your own audience. So you want to expand your reach. And you can do that through things like Facebook groups. I've already mentioned LinkedIn groups. Medium is an incredible platform. I don't know if any of you have ever explored Medium as an opportunity before, but it allows you to republish your existing blog posts. And that is kind of unusual because it doesn't affect your search engine optimization, because often if the likes of Google finds duplicate content, it will penalize you for it. But with Medium, it doesn't. So you can literally just replicate blog posts. Or if you haven't started blogging yet, a little bit of a tip for you might be to start blogging on Medium, because that's where your audience is, or there's like 100 million users on Medium. So wouldn't it be nice to put something in front of 100 million people? And I'm not saying that everybody's going to see it, but that's a lot more people than you're going to have visiting your website, unless you're someone like Neil Patel or Amy Porterfield. So what you can do is you can start building up your audience, start growing your email list on Medium, and then you can pull it over onto your blog, onto your own website. So that's just a little hack for you if you are getting started and you haven't done any blogging yet. And so check out Medium if you want to get intentional about blogging. And then other places that you can look at are things like Quora. That's Quora. Those are like Q&A forums where people can go in there. They can ask questions about anything from like potty training to planting daffodil bulbs to search engine optimization. Like the scope of questions is huge. You can go in there and you can search for the kind of questions around your topic, and you can get useful and just start providing valuable information so that people check out your profile and make sure that you are optimized, and then you can actually direct people to blog posts or information on your website if it's relevant to the question. So that's a good place for you to go and have a look. If you haven't checked out Quora, it's a good place to look anyway, if you're doing any kind of market research, because you'll find all sorts of questions in there. So just a quick rundown there. So your email list, your Facebook page or group, your personal Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Medium, Quora. That's 11 places that you could be posting every single time you publish a new blog post or a new podcast or whatever it might be. And you don't need to use all those, even if you just chose 3 and you got really intentional about making sure that every time you publish something, you showed up on those 3 platforms and you promoted it. So that might be to your email list, to your Facebook business page, and to a Facebook group. So you might decide those are your 3, and then you focus on it. And I know as entrepreneurs, it's really easy for us to get scattered and to just think, I want to do it all, and get yourself in a pickle, because you then start to feel overwhelmed about, oh no, how do I get Pinterest sorted out? And just focus on the ones that feel really good to you and where you already have a presence, where you're already comfortable, you know how to post stuff, and just focus on those. I am going to actually just post the link to this blog post into the Facebook Live, so you guys can check it out, and you can download you can go ahead and download the actual checklist from there as well. I don't know if that showed up. Yes, it has. Okay, Adiola, learned something new. Medium. Yeah, go and check it out. It's amazing. Jess, you're welcome. Rosemary, you're beginning to love Pinterest now that I'm learning about it. Yeah, it's like everything. It's a bit of a learning curve. Anne said, I use LinkedIn the most and have created a monthly newsletter and it's ticking away. That's brilliant that you've got a monthly newsletter, Anne, because that kind of consistency that builds and builds and builds. And often when we start to, it's like that moment when we're in the room with the microphone and there's nobody there listening to us speak. That's where we all start off, and we've got to wait for the room to fill up slowly. And then gradually you won't be able to hear yourself over the buzz. So that's what I would love for all of you, is to just make sure that you are growing your audience and growing your email list. Janet says, yes, I use Instagram to post podcasts and blog posts. Brilliant. Okay, so, and Janet, great list. Some I do regularly and a few more to add. Rosemary, just finishing off my funnel and we'll really drive through blogs and more. Absolutely. So yeah, once you've got your funnel up and running, that's the perfect time for you to be starting to blog and get more visibility, because ultimately you're going to drive more people through your funnel and to your website and into your, once they're on your blog post, they're more likely to come into your funnel. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to share with you today. Do go ahead and check out the blog post. And if you are not registered for the masterclass that I'm running in a couple of weeks' time, it's on the 23rd of May, which is a Tuesday. I think it's at 2:00. Do go ahead and sign up for that, because I'm really excited about some of the stuff that I'm going to share. It's all completely new content. And, you know, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I am just seeing ChatGPT everywhere. It's like the whole place is buzzing with it. And some people are really negative about it. They're fearful of what it means for us. Other people are really excited about it. And honestly, what we really need to recognize is that it's not going anywhere. In fact, AI has been around for decades already. It's just that it has literally just gone off on a different trajectory over the last 4, 5, 6 months since ChatGPT launched. And we need to embrace it. We absolutely 100% have to. And if we can get good at really understanding how we can harness it and how we can use it within our business, it's going to keep us ahead of the curve. So I'm looking forward to sharing all of that with you. I've been immersing myself in it over the last couple of months. And in fact, Rosemary's here. She was here when it was on my funnel experience, which started in January, when I very tentatively showed everybody it. And most of the people on that call hadn't seen it yet, because it was only launched at the end of November, wasn't it? So it's kind of over Christmas I've been tinkering with it, and it kind of blew everybody's mind. It still blows my mind sometimes. And ever since then, I've been really diving in deep to try and understand how we can harness it to the best of our ability. So I'm looking forward to seeing any of you there that can make it. Let me just see what that was. Thanks, Vicky. Plan to sign up. I'm using Jasper AI and love it for creating content. That's brilliant. So good that you're using that, Anne. Wonderful. Lovely to see you guys here. Thank you so much for showing up. Oh, one last thing. Actually, hang on. I felt really, really bad last week because Nancy, bless you, showed up, and I was going to do a website review for you. And so I'm going to, because you're here, I'm just going to very quickly grab your link for that, Nancy. And I meant to actually have it available before I jumped on. I had it actually last week ready to go. So let me just see if I can grab it for you. And I'm going to very quickly run a review for Nancy. So any of you who are wanting reviews done on your website, I do them at the first Wednesday of every month. But there were 2 people last week that I just felt really bad that I couldn't get to. So I'm going to very quickly run a review on these. And the feedback from these reviews is great. So thank you so much for letting me know that you are enjoying them. So let me just see. Do this every time with StreamYard, don't I? That I really struggle to share my screen. So hang on. Here we go. Share my screen. And hopefully you are seeing Nancy's website. So here we go. French flair in your home kitchen. All right, a very quick, it's going to take me 2 minutes. I'm going to rattle through it. So first off, Nancy, this space here, is really, really wasted space. So think about how you can integrate your logo further down into the page or bring these navigational links further up so that you don't have all of this white space, because this is like really, really key space for people to be clicking on things. And then you've definitely got too many navigational links. You definitely don't want things to be wrapping onto the next line. And so things like Get the Finest of France Cooking Essentials course, you could just consolidate that. So you could just have that as cooking course. And then when they click on it, they're going to go through and find out more about the details about it. I'm not sure if you need your French pantry checklist up here. You could have that as a button here, if that's one of the things that you want people to do, is to download your checklist to grow your email list. And then content, and then the free training, again, I don't think you need to have that up here. If that's something that you're running all the time, figure out a way to include that. If it's like a time-sensitive thing, so maybe you're running it in a couple of weeks' time, then maybe have a banner or have a pop-up to encourage people to actually sign up for it. Or instead of having these two as separate, you could have a free resources page, and one of them could be to the checklist and one of them could be to the challenge. Social media links, you definitely don't want them up at the top. This is an area that's really, really clickable, and you want to make sure that you're not losing people as soon as they arrive. So if you're taking people over to Instagram, as soon as they arrive on your site, they're likely to stay there and not come back. So make sure you can have these, but keep them in the footer. Simple and healthy cooking for your busy lifestyle. I love that. I know exactly who you're speaking to, and I know exactly what I'm likely to find here. So that's great. It's a really good headline. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about headlines next week because it's so important that we get them right. And we've been talking about blogging today, and I want to make sure that really you understand the power of the headline, because if you have a really lame headline, people just aren't going to click on it. So it's great that, Nancy, that you've got a good one. Yeah, loving this. Nice and easy to see at a glance. Here's your pantry checklist. And so I think because you've got that here, you don't necessarily need it up there. So you've already got it high enough on the page for people to go ahead and check it out. Here are Nancy's blog posts, and they look fabulous, really clickable and nice. Making sure you've got all of this. So this is where I would have your social media links. And also make it really easy for people to contact you. You've got a contact button here. I guess that's good enough. But if you're wanting people to reach out by email or by phone, you might also want to add your contact details along the bottom if that's the case. But overall, I think it looks really nice. It definitely looks, it's a nice and clean site. One of the first things I'll be doing is just making sure that you can get rid of that white space up at the top and pull everything up into that space. Hopefully that is useful. Thank you for bearing with me, and sorry that I didn't get to it last week. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to those of you who stayed on to see Nancy's review. And I will see you next week, where we're going to be talking about headlines. So definitely look out for that, because I've got some really fun stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you about headlines. Let me just see what other questions I've got. Miriam, you can get a ChatGPT. It's OpenAI. If you Google, OpenAI, and just Google login and or set up account, create account, and it will take you there. I don't know how they are with the backlog. There's like, they've got so many millions and millions of users now. So you might have to go onto a wait list before you can create an account. But you can set one up for free. Nancy, you're so welcome. Adiola, you're going to check out Medium. Also have a Twitter account, but never used it. Don't feel like you need to start getting onto Twitter now just because I've mentioned it. If there's other platforms that you feel more comfortable in, then just stick with it. Nancy, yes, absolutely. So pleased that you're here to have seen that. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I will see you next week. Take care. Have an awesome week. Bye for now.